mind one thought at a time.
Greetings, everyone. This is Dr. Akina Finch.
Good evening. This is Jessica.
And we are celebrating a wonderful milestone today. In 48 days, we have managed to have 1,081 likes on Facebook and over 600 downloads thanks to all of you listening today. We are so excited that we decided that y'all needed a celebration for all the contributions that you gave to the show today. Isn't that right, Jessica?
Absolutely. Today we wanted to just thank our listeners and all of our supporters for really trusting us in guiding you. And we just want to acknowledge you for taking really the steps to start this journey of changing your mind and just bringing yourself to a better place. And we have some exciting news. We have listened to all our feedback, and a lot of you have messaged us or sent us emails and asking us to cover certain topics or letting us know how the calls have impacted you. We want you to know we have listened, and we have a plan. We're going to move forward, and we're going to put everything that everyone asked for into action, and we are really excited. Akina, why don't you give our listeners a little kind of preview of what's going to be going on with the next couple of months for us?
Well, the first thing that's super exciting is that Sundays is now Changing Minds Online Day. That's right. That is the day that we have chosen every week so that you can listen to our broadcast, come in, give feedback, ask questions of us on whatever topic we're doing. Sunday is your day. Isn't that super exciting, Jessica?
Yeah, it's awesome. And that's Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is going to be the regular weekly featured call for Changing Minds Online. But we have even more exciting news than that. We are adding in a second weekly call. We are so excited to introduce. Yeah, it's awesome. We are so excited that we are going to be introducing a second series. So Changing Minds Online is going to be the same of our normal series and podcast where we're talking about self-growth and self-development. We are launching a second series on Thursday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It is going to be called Empowering Women. And in this series, we're going to be connecting, we're going to be bringing you other women entrepreneurs who are specialized in a certain topic. We have some really exciting calls planned to really help you learn how to grow from these really amazing women. We have elite athletes that are going to be featured on this call to talk about their training. We'll have teachers on the calls who are just talking about different learning styles. We have some great tax experts on the calls and accountants and all these amazing people who are going to really come and they're going to help us to really learn and grow from their businesses. And if you would like to be considered to be featured on our Empowering Women series, shoot us an email. Let us know who you are, what you do. Give us a link to your Facebook page or your website, and we'd love to be touching bases with you.
Yes, and our email is contactus@changingmindsonline.com, and that's contactus@changingmindsonline.com. We look forward to all of your entries. We will give every one of them great consideration because we want to be able to share anything that's going to empower women. That's an awesome thing. Empowerment brings everybody to a better place, and we're all about bringing our women to the next level. You agree, Jessica?
Absolutely. I mean, I know that one of the ways that Akina and I found each other was actually through a Facebook group about empowering women and empowering entrepreneurs. And, that's actually, Akina and I were talking, and we realized that we never really gave a lot of information about ourselves to our readers and who we are and where we're coming from, or excuse me, our listeners, and why we're doing this. And we really thought we'd take some time today, really just for a few minutes, to kind of introduce ourselves formally, who we are and where we're coming from, what our purpose is, and why we decided to do this show. So, Akina, why don't you get started?
Okay, well, I am Dr. Akina Finch. I am the social media part of our team. We are on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest. Podomatic, iTunes, and YouTube. You can find us everywhere, and we are also on Skype. I did forget that. Yes, we are.
And that's just
everywhere.
amazing. Akina, I just wanted to recognize her for a second, and I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I just want to recognize Akina for a second because she is just phenomenal. If it was up to me, we would probably no one who's downloading this call right now would have never been able to reach out to you guys, and I just want to really give her a shout out. She's done such a fantastic job, and I'm so thankful, and I really have so much gratitude for everything she's done. She puts so much time and effort into making sure that, you know, as many people as we can reach with these calls are seeing them, and you know, you're just doing a great job. Thank you so much for putting it in so many places. Akina's still trying to get me into Instagram and all these other social media things I haven't heard of that she's getting me on. So I'm looking forward to continue learning from her. But thank you, Akina.
Thank you, Jessica. And I mean, you brought great contribution to the group as well. I mean, without you, there wouldn't be any Empowering Women series, and we definitely are thankful for that because that is the first step to bringing us women to the next level. We have to feel empowered. Because if we don't feel empowered, we're just going to be lackadaisical and complacent, and those two things are not correct on any level. So we need to get that empowerment going so that we can reach the next level, and then we can share with others and bring them to the next level. So thank you, Jessica, for all you do to the team.
Absolutely. And I know you started to tell us a little bit about, you know, where you're coming from and what you're doing. So I'm sorry. Let me let you get back to that.
Oh, no problem. I am a assistant dean and a professional educator for a university, and I love education. To me, education is motivation. If the more you know, the more you're empowered, the more that you can take it to the next level. Knowledge is always power. And I also love to give back. That's why I am part of this Changing Minds online call. A lot of times we are working individuals, we have crazy schedules, but we can always get online and listen to a podcast in the wee hours of the night that's going to empower us to take us to the next level. It's okay if you can't log in when we're on, because you can go anytime you want and find us on changingmindsonline.com. Because all the archives are there, or iTunes, or Podomatic, because we want to empower you. We want to make you better as we are striving to make ourselves better as well, because it's all about giving back. In addition, it's just been a passion of mine to motivate and inspire. My road was not necessarily the easiest road, becoming a doctor, becoming an educator. I didn't have people behind me. I had to learn the hard way. And I believe in working smarter, not harder. So if there's anything that I can give, to share, to motivate, to translate, let me know, because that is what these calls are about. We want to make your journey smarter and not harder. Now, we'll let Jessica introduce herself.
All right, thank you, Akina. So some of my friends who I know are on this call or supporters know a little bit about me, and some of my people I'm coaching through Task to Exotic who might be listening in here. That's my other coaching business. They might know I come from a little bit different of an environment that I'm in now. So, I was born in New Jersey, and my parents are really, they're kind of mountain people, I guess you can say. They really like nature, and they really, they love the country. And so I grew up in an area in the country, and they'll tell you from a very young age that I knew very quickly that wasn't for me. And I respect it, and everyone has their choices and what works for them, right? But it wasn't for me. So, from a very young age, I was very committed and inspired to really just taking my life and making it my own, and just really kind of becoming the author and creator of my own destiny. So when I got my first job, my goodness, I was too young to get working papers. I believe I was 12 when I got my first job. and I was working at this pizza restaurant answering phones, and I made $4 an hour, and I worked for 4 days a week for 4 hours a day, and I was making what I said $16 a day, and I kept putting away the money, and everyone asked me well, why are you doing this? Why are you working like that? You're 12, go play outside and go run around the fields. I mean, I didn't really want to run around the fields, but I told everyone, when I am 18, I'm moving to New York City, and I'm saving up money to move to New York City. And true to my word, I did. When I turned 18, I moved down, went to college in New York, just outside of New York City, and I've been living here ever since. But I've always been a very deeply inspired person. I've always been I started, meditating and praying, and I, became a Christian when I was 12, and in a situation where it was probably unlikely I would have done that. And some of you who know me may know me more intimately may know that I do have a diagnosis of neurofibromatosis, and what that really meant for me as a kid was that there was a little bit more of challenges. And when I was younger in high school, when it wasn't really cool, I was using something like a kind of the precursor to the iPad to be able to write and take notes, because I wasn't able to really write, and I wasn't allowed to play in gym class because they thought I could get hurt, or I had a lot of pain in my hands, and I had a lot of things going on. And it forced me, because there is no treatment for that, it forced me to really decide I had a choice that I was going to take my life into my hands, and I was going to make it into something better. And it really making me realize that I am a powerful creator, and that there's nothing that I can't do. And from a very, very young age, I used to spend a lot of time on reading about meditation, reading about mind over matter, and reading about all these natural ways of healing. And I started doing acupuncture and using Chinese medicine, I think by the age of 13, maybe 13 or 14. And I really just got very involved in personal growth. And by the time I went to college, and I started 3 different clubs in college, and I graduated top of my class and with a near 4.0 GPA, I was working full-time through school, and I always really felt that I had a very special gift to share with the world. Initially, I planned to go to law school, and it became apparent to me that isn't what I wanted to do. And I decided, like Akina, I wanted to get involved in the field of education. At that time, I had a friend who had a son who had autism, and I just got the pleasure spending the day with him at the beach today, and I just love him, and I'm so grateful for him and for her for being part of my life. I realized that in the field of autism, there's not a lot of hope, and there's not a lot of answers. And I felt that I connected really well to that field, because I had a place where I was coming from a disability where there was really no hope and answers, and I decided I wanted to help these children. So I went back and I got my master's in education, and I actually I'm about finishing up. I finished up all my courses, but haven't officially been conferred the degree yet, a second master's in psychology. And I've been working in the field of autism for, the last 6 years or so, and it's really been very powerful for me. But about a year ago, I actually started using this fantastic nutrition system. It really changed my life. And it really was around this wonderful group of people who were really into personal growth and really into personal development. And I had kind of realized that was my first love, my first love when I was 12, when I first, became a Christian, when I first got involved with meditation, with prayer, with Chinese medicine. I kind of went back to that and said, I really miss that. I really miss the time in my life where I was spending time every single day to improve who I was on the inside and to really become a better person and really to kind of grow and expand who I am. So I went back. I really went back to that, and I went back to a full strength. And what the catalyst was for me, and I know I've shared this before in a call, was my mother called me and said, can you come home and take some of your stuff out of the room? You moved out 10 years ago now, and it's still here. And I said, sure, no problem. I'll come and I'll take it out. So I went home and I found in my old desk drawer this list. And the list was 25 things I wanted to do before I died. And I don't know when I wrote it. It had to be sometime in high school because I was still living at home at the time. And so I was probably, around the age of 16, 17, maybe 18 when I wrote the list. And when I looked at the list, I had realized that I had done every single thing on that list until before my actually 22nd birthday. And I just was, at first, really felt this overwhelming sense of pride and gratitude for having been able to accomplish those things. I was proud of myself, and I was thankful to God for really allowing me to do those things. And some of the things are things I really shouldn't have been able to do. But, when I really thought about it long and hard, what I really realized was that I just stopped growing, and I didn't see my life the way that it could be. I didn't see how big and how amazing my life could be. And I decided at that moment that there was nothing that I couldn't do. And that if I could see it, I can make it happen. And if I could dream it, I can make it happen. And I committed my life to being a creator. I committed to saying, you know what, I'm going to create anything and everything that I want in my life. I'm going to make it happen. And that there's no dream too big, that I have the power to do anything I want to do through the grace of God. I believe that anything is possible. And I really decided to start on this journey. And it really was amazing. The results were really profound. I had been driving this old beat-up kind of car that was just not getting me from place to place. I used to turn off on the highway, and I'd try to turn it back on. And, within a month of making this decision, I went out and bought a convertible. I had really never run before, and I decided to start running, and I shouldn't be able to run due to the physical disabilities I have, but I do, and I just ran a half marathon actually yesterday, even with a fracture in my foot. I decided to do CrossFit, and very quickly, when I was in high school, I wasn't able to hold a pencil, but now I can lift my body weight over my head. And I really just realized that when you put your mind to something and when you decide that it's going to happen, that you put that out into the universe and it does. The entire universe, God, whatever you want to call it what you want, but it conspires to help you. It conspires to help you achieve and to dream and to really reach your goals. And when I really came to that realization, when I came to understand that I can do anything, I realized that if I can do it, anyone can do it, because I didn't come from a place where it was easy. I came from a place where there were challenges, but it worked for me. And it became, to me, very personal and very powerful that I needed to give back. For all these blessings that I received, for all the abundance I was given, for the power I was granted, for the ability to do all the things that I have asked for and in faith and done, I decided, it is my duty, it's my obligation, but it's also my pleasure to share with others how to make it happen for them. My life a year ago was not the same as it is today, and this has just been a really powerful year. I know on Wednesday I will be 28. I'll be celebrating my 28th birthday, and I look back at where I was when I celebrated my 27th birthday, and I'm just a different person on the inside and out completely. Physically, changing my nutrition and getting in better shape. I lost 4 pant sizes or dress sizes, and, I went from living a really toxic lifestyle, and that's where I came up with my other business, Toxic to Exotic, and you can check that out at toxictoexotic.com. But I really went from living a toxic life to living an exotic life, and, I'm very committed to sharing and inspiring others to say, you can do it too. And Keenan and we wound up actually meeting on a Facebook group on Facebook where we were collaborating together. And I just love her energy. And we said, let's do this together. And Changing Minds Online, the reason why we talk about changing minds online is if you want to change your life, you need to first change the way that you think. And when you change the way that you think, your life changes. And like I said, today, I can't even tell you where I was a year ago. I hardly recognize myself anymore. I don't recognize the person who I was a year ago. I have changed. And I saw one of my good friends today, one of my best friends, and, the one whose son inspired me to go into the field of education in the first place. And, we were talking, and I told her, I'm different than I was. And she said, yeah, of course you are. You matured, you grew up, because we've been friends for so long. And she's like, you really grew up. And then by the end of the day, she said, you really didn't just grow up. You really changed. Like, you're different. And I changed my mindset. And when I changed my mindset, everything started to change. So that's where changing minds on mind comes from for me. It's a way that I want to give back and to share with you guys and share with our listeners and supporters. And I love you all so much. And I just have received this enormous blessing and just this phenomenal gift and understanding that I can be anyone that I want to be if I just change the way that I think. So, this project that we're working on, these podcasts, we're going to be a little sneak preview, but we're going to be coming out with some webinars and books later in the year. But these are for you. This is my way of saying this worked for me, and I just want to share with you, too, because you are an amazing, beautiful, you are all phenomenal people. And, I want you to know that you're worth it. You're worth believing in yourself. You're worth investing in yourself. You're worth it to make that change because great things are going to happen. And I guess that's where I am.
That was wonderful, Jessica. I mean, I love hearing your story. And you know what? You've inspired me today because I don't believe I've ever told my full story on the air. Because unlike Jessica, I am the introvert of the group. But
yeah, no one's ever called me shy.
Well, I'm going to share. I am from Nashville, Tennessee. I'm a child of a single mother. She raised me, and then after she raised me, made sure that I was in college and everything, she branched out to do her purpose, which was to start a sewing business. She has been doing this business for 20 years now, and in addition to that, in total, she's been sewing for almost 50 years, which is awesome to me. I always knew what purpose was because she always was a great example of that. She always knew what she wanted to do. She did other things to make sure that I was taken care of, but she always knew what she wanted to do. She always knew her purpose, and that inspired me. My job was to go to school and get good grades. Her job was to support me, is what she'd always tell me. And I took my job seriously. And I graduated number 6 out of 200. And I ended up going to Tennessee State University where I got my undergrad in aeronautical industrial technology. I then branched out to Colorado to spend some time with my father. I thought I was going to spend a year. But I ended up spending 7. But those were the 7 most developmental years of my life because I ended up with 7 years and 3 degrees. A master's, executive MBA, MBA in technology management, and, of course, my doctorate in management. I went full circle. I thought I wanted to be an engineer. I thought I wanted to be an accountant, all these things. But I ended up being exactly what I wanted to be when I was 5 years old. I wanted to be a teacher. And now I am a teacher. And to see the light bulb come on when I teach my students in a different way is the ultimate to me. That is my way of giving back. That is my way of reaching out and touching lives. And it doesn't just stop there. Whatever they need, if it's education about job placements, if it's education about motivation, if it's education about how to be the person you want to be. I have done that for my students, and I feel that that's my duty as an educator to do that for my students. I don't have children of my own, so my students are my spiritual children, so to say, and they mean the world to me. I don't do a lot of emotions, so this is probably the most emotional I've ever been on the show. That's why changing minds is so important, because when I was getting my doctorate, I was told I shouldn't have never done this. You're not ready for this. You need to do this. You need to go back and reevaluate what you were going to do. But as soon as I stepped into that program, I knew I was going to be an educator. I was going to help people. And all these other naysayers, I didn't have time for them. And every time they try to naysay, instead of arguing, I just flip it back on them and turn it back on. And to this day, I am the only person in my mentor's 25-year career of mentoring doctoral students, was the only one that published before they even graduated. And publishing is really big as an academic higher ed. And that was a huge deal because that's the same man that told me that if I hadn't been this far in the program, he probably would have recommended I would have never started. But then he had to eat every last one of those words. And that shows that you can do anything you want to do. I knew I was going to be an educator. I didn't have time for all these other people and what they had to say because that was my purpose, to educate, to motivate, to inspire. And that's why I'm doing Changing Minds Online with Jessica, because my love for education and her energy and her love for education, we mesh together. And we come up with very powerful and interesting topics because they come from the heart. It's things that we went through as individuals. And that's why they're so meaningful to us, and that's why we can bring so much passion to it because we lived it ourselves. And I am so thankful for my partnership with Jessica likewise because she brings out energy in me that I haven't had in a long time. And I want to thank her for being my partner in Changing Minds Online. And the same energy that she motivated me with, she's going to motivate you with, and we're going to motivate you together, and we're going to empower women. We're going to bring the higher heights, and we're going to take everybody to the next level because that is what the vision of Changing Minds Online is.
Yeah, thank you, Akina. And it's just thank you. It's so wonderful to work with you, Akina, and I'm really just so thankful for this project and this opportunity for our listeners and supporters. And, I know we're about out of time tonight, but I think the takeaway we want to really say and, what Akina was saying and what I'm saying is that, it doesn't matter where you come from. It doesn't matter what anyone says. You can be anyone you want to be. And, don't let anybody tell you what you can do. Don't let anyone tell you what you can't do. You get to decide. And that's what this show is about. It's about showing you how to make a decision to be the creator of your life and make your dreams come true. So, every Monday night you can tune in, every Sunday night, tune in at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for our Changing Minds online show and our special Thursday night editions of our Empowering Women series. And we're going to bring in tons of phenomenal women to learn and grow with. And they just are an inspiration to me. Some of the guests we have coming up are just really, really people you're going to want to hear from. So thank you again, guys. Thank you so much. We love you. We can't wait to continue this journey. Thank you for helping us hit our 1,000 mark for 1,000 Facebook fans and 600 downloads in less than 6 weeks. This has just been phenomenal. We're still excited to be part of this journey with you guys. Have a good night. I'm going to be signing off now. We look forward to hearing you, being with you on Thursday with our first Empowering Women series.
Yes, we look forward to seeing you on Thursday. Thank you so much. We love you. Good night.
All right, thanks, guys. Good night. God bless.